What's the most common like struggle that men typically have sexually?
Usually it's either erectile dysfunction, or we call it ED, and or sexual performance anxiety.
ED sounds so clinical, right? It
Yeah.
sounds really. Hey, I'm going through some ED right now. Can you just like give me a little bit? Let me get some Red Bull, and I'll be all right. That's what I'm. That's what I'm gauging from when I hear ED. But go. All right, so go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are the main things, you know what I mean? And also feeling like a sense of like inadequacies, even when it comes to being self-conscious about their member, their penis as well. I didn't realize that until I got into sex therapy even harder, being self-conscious about size. That's come up quite a
Really?
bit.
So like, do they come up to you? Okay, so if there was a guy that came up to your office or wherever you meet your clients, would they blatantly say, "I don't like the size of my penis"? Is that what it is?
In certain ways, yes. They're like, I'm struggling with whether or not my penis is a good enough size. And that's a
Really?
relative thing, though. You know what I mean? And so
Do
I'm
you
not
ask them?
one to judge.
Do you ask them to show you?
Oh no.
No.
We already we don't got
I
time
was
for
like,
that. Like, no, thank you.
yo, your career is.
And I wouldn't be surprised if some probably wanted to just to get my opinion, but it's like, no, sir, that's beyond the
I mean,
scope of what I'm
you
practicing.
probably are in a position to receive a lot of dick pics professionally. I'm just saying.
Yeah, potentially. But I told him, don't come over here with that, because I've had to struggle. I've had to struggle even before sex therapy with like attraction and things like that. So, I have to make that strictly clear. No pics, no penis pics, please and thank you. And don't show me your penis either.
All right, so I got to delete the message I just sent you then, because clearly I didn't get the message. Yeah, all right, just don't read your last DM, okay? Because I'm struggling.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah. All right, so men struggle with like erectile dysfunction, as well as inadequacies
Performance. Performance anxiety.
and the size of performance anxiety and the size of their member, if you will.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
but
definitely.
Like, what do you think are like some of the biggest causes of that? Is that like mostly mental? Is it physical? Like hereditary?
It can be either or both and. So sometimes you have to rule out, the first thing you have to rule out if it's medical, especially if it's erectile dysfunction, because sometimes it can be a medical issue. Like typically men who have high blood pressure or like overweight may have some issues.
Why'd you go like this? Why'd you go like this? Why'd you go like this?
Because overweight is relative. Because I always have to put things in context. You can't go off of the BMI. To me, that don't fit colored people. We got a different type of frame. Let's say that. So what would be considered severely obese over
I'm big
here?
Boned. Big boned. Ain't nobody.
I'm not severely obese, I'm just thick.
Yeah, I'm thick. I'm
factor.
thick with an F. I'm thick. I'm slim thick.
Yeah, we got to look at context. That's why I had to quote unquote.
Okay.
Well, I ain't big, so but it's still having that. Wait, so that is a factor.
So obesity can have an impact on like
erectile issues.
Really?
Absolutely.
Why? Is it like too much? What are we talking about?
It's I think it's a weight thing, and it has to do with health. Because you think about people who are obese, not all, but some who struggle with high blood pressure. High blood pressure does have an impact because, of course, to get an erection, blood goes to the penis.
Does it?
So if I'm having blood pressure issues, I'm probably going to have a hard time getting blood to the penis.
Okay.
And so high blood pressure medication sometimes can help with that a little bit, but it just depends. It's also weight loss. Okay. But it's men who aren't necessarily considered obese who still have that issue. And that's sometimes where it gets mental, where I have anxiety with performing, and especially if I'm a person that masturbates a lot. And so our brains are like wires, right?
Okay.
And so there's these arousal pathways. So sometimes if I'm used to just masturbating by myself, the hand is much tighter than a vagina is. And so I may have a hard time. I'm just saying.
Keep it tight. Keep it tight. All right. If you can't outdo his hand, that ain't your man. Okay.
That ain't your man. But yeah, so it feels different, and so some men may struggle with getting an erection because it feels so different. And then they're used to being alone. versus being with another person. So our brain is wired. It's like, dang, I can only maintain and obtain an erection if I'm by myself, and I can only get to orgasm by myself. So now I got to retrain my brain.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't. I thought it was like one of those things. Like if you watch too much porn, you'll desensitize your brain to what you are accustomed to watching.
That's a possibility too.
That was more of it. No.
Yeah, it's more to do with because I don't know many people who watch porn and don't masturbate to it. Some people could just watch it, but most of the time when there is porn watching, there is masturbation involved with that. Porn can have it can definitely play a role in the factor in that too, because it fantasizes things. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I have the expectation of it going a certain way, but it doesn't. So that can play a factor too. But the masturbation is a piece of that as well.
So what do you tell guys who's how do I say this? Not endowed?
Not endowed.
You know what I mean? Like what do you like what is the solution for them, or is it just one of those things where you have them be more accepting of their body? Like what is it?
Pretty much. Okay. Acceptance. I mean, you can get a penile implant, I guess, if you want, but my thing is acceptance is usually the way to go.
That's a thing? You can get penile implants?
You can. Now, what that looks like, I'm not sure.
I need to Google some stuff. Just hold on. I just need to make I got to make an appointment. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Oh, yeah. Don't look at me. Stare away.
You said I got to make an appointment.
All right. So basically, like, is that something you offer to them as an option, or what's the primary option? Is it for them?
Well, as far as like, I tell them, I go from a place of acceptance, because men and body dysmorphia is real, but penis, that is very much involved in that body dysmorphia thing. Men just don't talk about it.
Are there natural ways to make your penis bigger?
Oh, see, I'm not sure. It may be. I know they call it an auric penis, but that's more on the tantra level. That auric penis is an energy penis. It's not just cell penis, but that's a whole other.
My brain just did a backflip. Aura penis?
Auric penis.
Auric penis. Auric.
Yes. It can stretch out to about as long as 3 feet, energy wise. Yes.
That'll rupture your spleen, girl. What you talking about?
But it's different. It's energy. It's energy.
I think that's just gas. Okay.
You said gas. I can't.